Thanks, everyone. This is the Power On Network first conference call, December 4th, 2016. We are having special guests on today. Well, we were supposed to have Mr. Fred Fuster. We will hopefully maybe get him onto the call, possibly. If not, we have the best, Rocco Fish, our I guess you'd say our grand poobah. He is the gentleman that, with no introduction, I mean, his accolades of what he's been able to accomplish in the multi-level marketing networking industry has been phenomenal. Much success to him. He has been at the beginning stages of all of this with the Power On Network. He has plenty of information. I'm not sure if Rocco, if you want to field some questions today, but if you would like to start us off, people definitely want to hear the insights, the things that you know, maybe that we're not talking about on the webinars. So, Rocco, please introduce yourself to everybody.
Sure. Thanks very much. Hi, everybody. My name is Rocco Di Benedetto, and I am talking to you live from southwest, east coast of the United States, southwest region, and hope everybody's having a great day, man. It's really massive here today. I'm staring at the water through my window. I was up an hour ago, a little over an hour ago, but we had a global webinar just a short while ago, and I hope that the links will be soon published in the members area, in the members back office. And you can get some people over to these webinars, take advantage of them, let the hosts of the show do some lifting for you, and we can always come back on these type of calls. I'm a fan of conference calls. We can disseminate a lot of information rather quickly, and we can field some questions. I'll do the best of my ability. I'll never lie to you. If I don't know an answer, I will do my best to get it and deliver it on the next call or get back to someone individually. So, yeah, I've been doing this network marketing space, I want to say full-time for about 10 years now, and, this is afforded me a lifestyle that most people, unfortunately, today don't even dream about. And, they say you're only as good as your last show. And I can tell you from what's happening to the Power On Network, I think we just eclipsed 13,000 members, essentially over the past 30 to 45 days. That's pretty cool. In my last venture, unfortunately, it was a short run, but in 12 months, myself and one other individual were able to gather a little over 800,000 people, about 840,000 people, and it was an incredible run. We were on the magical quest to eclipse 1 million people, and I venture to say that we will eclipse that conservatively in 15 to 16 months here at the Power On Network. And, without going into too much and pegging everybody's time on a Sunday morning, well, at least here on the East Coast of North America, I just want to say that, it's an amazing company. The cryptocurrency that they were able to get in the public space is the real deal. You can download wallets for the XeCoin. You can get to the source code. The source code you can find on the website as well as GitHub. There are people currently mining that coin, and you can see all of the transactions on the public block explorer. It sits on crypto ID. In fact, I think it sits right underneath Litecoin. And we share that explorer with quite a few other coins. It's a third-party verification process, that block explorer. And, it just edifies the coin. And, of course, the company will be underwriting the coin over the coming months with kilowatt hours of green renewable energy. And currently you can see that coin being traded on a public crypto exchange that's probably listed somewhere on the list of crypto exchanges. I would say they're hovering anywhere between 30 and 35 of the highest volume sites. And the name of that site is c-cex.com. And you can see the activity that's going on with the coin. That coin's probably started somewhere around a dime, and it spiked up to 50. It's been in the 30s, and I'm thinking it's somewhere around 12 to 14 cents right now. And reason being is there's not a lot of volume. It's just the volume that the miners are able to mine some coins every day and get them sold. Once the plan starts moving on and coins start to hit the public exchange in higher volumes, hopefully we'll see it get a little more consistent, and we hope to see the coin being strengthened. Between putting the green renewable energy behind the coin, it makes it a first of its kind, the first green asset-backed coin. And, people feel comfortable about that. Max was just talking about when Nixon removed I think it was the silver standard behind the U.S. dollar. It's fiat currency now. There's no intrinsic value there. When they need more, they print it. Not the case here. So with the cryptocurrency, unlike any other coin that's out there, with the exception of one gold-backed coin that I saw that doesn't have a lot of activity, doesn't have a network around it, this particular model, putting the green renewable energy behind the coin, gives the coin an intrinsic value. Very exciting. The products that are going to roll out soon they're futuristic products. I mean, energy storage, just get to XeCoin.com. Be sure to go through their products. Check out that video on Bird2Go. It's quite exciting. The Vertigo dock will be exclusive to the Power On network, as well as other products that are coming out of XeCoin. The man behind XeCoin is a big part of why I'm here. As I mentioned earlier, my last run was 12 months. I built a business for 12 months. Anybody on that call knows me. They know I put in long days. I don't take days off, but I put in long days and work real hard and work with a really elite group of marketers. These guys and girls are like the special forces. When you're looking at, the armies and the navies and such, we go out there, we work hard, we get webinars going, we do live meetings, we move around the world. And to have to start after a year or two or almost 3 years, it really sucks. And I would venture to say that we've got some seasoned marketers on this call, and it's like the worst thing in the world, It's almost like, have you ever seen a grown man cry? I watched a very good, close, personal friend of mine and business associate. When the last business went out, it was like, a grown man crying. I don't want to have to do this again. And I believe with Don Misanka and XeCoin, the concept, the model, the cryptocurrency, we will see many years. I think a decade is very easy here. A little background on Don Misanka that you don't hear on webinars and such, but maybe you do. I'm not too sure. I haven't done any live webinars really recently, but I like to talk about Don and his technology. And, if you see the PowerPoint that's out there, you can tell that Don's got some pretty serious accolades. He's been a pioneer in this green renewable energy space for 20-plus years. And if you look at the timeline on that presentation, everything that's on the timeline are Don's accomplishments. From powering, we like to say, the first electric automobile, and I won't mention any names of which vehicles they are, but one of them Don still owns today. In front of the Monrovia plant, they have a Toyota. I think it's a RAV4, and they fully power that, and it's pretty amazing. And everything that they do with power from the Coda plant in Monrovia, California, saves people, whether it's a commercial or future residential application, saves everybody 20% guaranteed out of the gates on their utility bill, on their electric bill. And, this guy's I'd like to say he's a genius in this industry that he's been pioneering, along with some other great names that are out there in that green energy, battery, renewable, portable system space. And he's done some pretty amazing things. The technology is wound up in military contracts, lightening the batteries, making them a lighter weight and a much more resilient battery that has a longer shelf life. It's been installed into nuclear subs, B-52 bombers, F-15 and 16 fighter jets, Apache helicopters. It's the real deal futuristic technology here today. Don was also the founder of the first lithium polymer power plant in the United States called Kokam, K-O-K-A-M. And he went on to sell that company to Dow Chemical, and you can see that company today is Dow Kokum. So he's been honored by Obama for some of the companies that he's founded and invested in. Been recognized by Bill and Melinda Gates for his innovation campus at his Central Missouri University. Pretty amazing stuff. So with the technology and the ability to roll these products out in the future, and just got a message come across the screen. With this technology rolling these products out in the future, the ability to do customer acquisition first in North America, where the products are being manufactured, both in Kansas City, well, just outside of Kansas City. Lee's Summit, Missouri is actually the city, and Monrovia, California, and some activity going on actually outside the company as well. And rolling those products out here allow the member or affiliate to get into that customer acquisition plan where you're looking at power purchase agreements or contracts that pay month after month up to 20-year contracts. So we know many people will retire on those. There's some companies out there that switch people over to supposedly lesser or less expensive energy bill. It's a tough game, but there's a lot of them. A lot of big companies, direct sale companies that do that. We'll be able to offer 20% savings when we roll this out in the U.S. And, with all of this business going on, the first green asset-backed public cryptocurrency that's already being traded in the public market space, the battery technology, Don Nisanka, spearheading this and very well known in this industry. It's phenomenal, but the most important thing for me and many of the people in my close circle is, can we go past 10 years?
Currency XeCoin. Yeah, to get that thing to start bumping up as fast as possible. So if you could elaborate on those, that would be great.
Yeah, what did you want to cover now?
If you could talk about the Power On network, and because a lot of people are saying, well, the Power On network just started. So if you could distinguish, because the companies like Coda Energy, Exergonics, Vertigo, the companies that are all involved here, they've been around for quite some time, versus the Power On network has just established itself and with the networking side of things. So I want to make certain that people truly understand that. Plus, you have this whole phase one and the importance of what phase one is and why we're taking it at the pace that we're taking it.
Yes, absolutely. So the Power On network is a new company. I want to say it's probably maybe about 4 to 5 months old. The company is registered in Singapore, and the company Exergonics, and Coda is a division of Exergonics. And Exergonics has other products that are out there. And in order to get those products around the world, you have a couple of ways of doing things. You hire a sales force, and you put them out there and send them off to go. You can hit television like some other companies are doing. You can hit the internet. But without a sales force like direct sales, how can you get to approximately 202 countries and provinces around the world? and do it overnight. And right now, the Power On Network's goal is to strengthen the XeCoin. And in strengthening that XeCoin and bringing in monies through the Power On Network helps Exergonics to circulate their products. Remember, these are physical products that have to be manufactured. And when they're put out there into the public space, now in commercial applications, both light and heavy, and soon to be residential spaces, that equipment costs money. That equipment must be put out there. The equipment is technically not sold, rather leased. It would be kind of like if you had you never had Dish Network or cable TV in your house, and you had to have the cable company come out and wire it up and put their product in your house so that you could have that service every month. You pay them every month. You're technically leasing the service through a contract. Same thing happens here. But again, to get around the world and to get around the world pretty quickly, Don chose the network marketing arm to do just that. And right now the coin becomes a means of transfer through kilowatt hours in this green energy. So I hope that answers that question for you.
Yeah, and the other thing is that, I was having a conversation with yourself, and I know some other people, and I know the question that comes up is that, what makes a cryptocurrency coin increase? You have supply and demand, but in our case with the XeCoin, what can we do on our end as network marketers, people who are putting their money into this? What can we do to really help in some fashion as in increasing that coin value?
Well, there's a couple of things, and there's a couple of things that the entire organization has to do. The company is right now in talks with actually a processing system, a money processing system. They have 85,000 merchants, and they are ready, willing, and able to take the right currency. This currency, of course, being backed with this green renewable energy, what happens is, so let me step back a moment. With the Power On Network, the company has that protective measure within the compensation plan, which the payout rule is 60% in cash, which you could withdraw to your bank, and 40% to a reserve fund. And what that reserve fund actually does is every Friday gives the member the ability to purchase more coins off of the public market space. So that aspect alone will help to keep the coin strengthened by taking it out of the marketplace. Getting merchants that will accept that coin is the big thing. But as the coin increases through the public space, through supply and demand, when it gets to an undetermined level in value, that's when the company will underwrite X amount of kilowatt hours behind this coin. It will be done by a third-party company. And what the Power On Network and Exergonics actually does is, from the charge and discharge of these batteries, so essentially buying electricity and selling electricity, there are revenues generated. A portion of those revenues are put into what they call the Global Energy Fund. And it gets a lot more exciting because it's not just the batteries. There are other products and services that will be released. In fact, one was not only discussed in great detail in the last Bangkok meeting, that global leadership event that we did just a few weeks ago. They released another product. Everybody had to sign a non-disclosure agreement, so I can't talk about it much, nor can the other affiliates until we actually release the product. And it's another product that will help to, like the batteries, reduce I shouldn't say batteries, but these portable energy storage systems. They contribute to the reduction in carbon footprint. Don has this other product. They call it the Cube, and they have patents on this. They have intellectual property patents too, which are very difficult patents to get. We actually saw some of the patents in Bangkok. And the Cube monitors in real time the reduction in carbon footprint from the storage systems that store that wasted energy from the traditional power plants, and other products that, again, reduce the carbon footprint. And when you have that intellectual property that allows you to monitor that in real time and present that to a government, you are compensated by the way of certified carbon credits. And so revenues that come from that as well contribute to the Global Energy Fund. It's a list of products that actually contribute to that Global Energy Fund. And when the coin is underwritten, so let's use like a real-time scenario. And again, this is just for education purposes only. Let us say that coin strengthens to $1. I use that number because it's nice and round. The company has been charging and discharging batteries, putting their other products out there that are reducing the carbon footprint. They may decide to underwrite that coin with 50 cents in green renewable kilowatt hours. So once that happens, a floor is essentially set in the coin, because the company will always, if you chose not to go to the public space, which wouldn't make sense not to, if you wanted to sell your coins, you could sell them on the public space for $1. But if you were in a pinch, the company, at the time that you're looking to liquidate them, the company will actually cash those coins out at what they call, the term in their space is called scrap. So if they've underwritten the coin with a value of 50 cents, the company will be happy to take those coins off of your hand, or you can cash them out through a provider in some way, shape, or form for green renewable energy at a facility. And it's a pretty amazing process. And once that floor is set, that floor is set. And it's a pretty genius concept. So again, just strengthening the intrinsic value, and for marketers and people that are actually working with the currency, that's their thing. They want to do this currency thing. You can buy them, sell them, mine them. It's a very interesting concept. I hope I don't sound like I'm all over the place, but it's just a lot of information.
No, you're doing great, honestly, and I know that for some people, the things that you're talking about, even myself, we haven't heard some of this information before, and so I would suggest that everybody, listen to the recording, take down notes, and look up some of this stuff, because I know I have, about the carbon credits. Couple more questions, if you don't mind, and then if you do have time, maybe we could take some questions from the people on the call.
So you're telling me these are your questions?
No, I mean, I've taken these questions from other people, but
cool.
Yeah, you're messing with me. Okay, so some people have asked, why isn't XeCoin on more exchanges? Why just the 2 exchanges? Is that of significance? Does that mean anything? And then the second question is, after that, what is it about Don Nisanka that nobody knows about? I know you've talked about his accolades and so forth, but meeting this man face to face, looking him square in the eyes, and seeing him as a true, person, across the room kind of thing, what can you tell people about him?
Sure. Okay, so this is a 2-part question.
Yes.
Well, let me just tell you about Don Nisanka. So when the plan was being put together, I was actually called in to take a look at it. I was actually in the process with a business partner of mine. I mentioned earlier, having to start all over again is like the worst thing in the world for me as a network marketer and my close circle of friends, and, pretty much most of the people in the space that have been through more than one company trying to build a consistent online income. And, when I was called out to this project, I was already in the process of setting up a company that I could control myself. And, sometimes, we all know where the buck stops. And going through companies for X amount of time, especially if it's, a decade or more, you start to wonder, if you have to completely take control and just do it better. And every time that you do a project, you're getting better at it. It's a learning experience. And myself and my partner in New York were ready to actually, we had software in place, concept in place, everything to paper, speaking to processors. Then I was called out to a meeting in Europe about this. I worked with the Power On Network people many years, and I know them. They're really good at what they do on the creative side and on the technical side in the MLM space. But the missing link was Don Nisanka, the product, the sustainability. And so when I went out there, I actually met Don shortly after that in a meeting in Europe. And he's a very down-to-earth guy, totally non-intimidating guy, more of a nerd, I would venture to say, or a nerd. Sometimes guys are nerdy, but Don's like a nerd not only about this technical energy space that he's involved with, but also in business. Having put companies out there and been at the start of companies, whether he was an investor or on the board, he's got a lot of experience in this space and business in general. So, he's a non-intimidating guy. Don is I guess we could call Don a Sri Lankan immigrant. And if I stand corrected, Don did a lot of traveling in his youth with his parents as diplomats. His dad was a diplomat. And when it came time for his education, his college education, he decided to do that in the States. And the first company that he gravitated to after college was a company that's inside of this space. And, it went from there. So Don's a down-to-earth, non-intimidating, Sri Lankan American immigrant who lives in the heartland. Guys that surround his circle of people like Ike Skelton and Kit Bond, the former senator and former representative of the state of Missouri in his home state. Again, he's involved with the Innovation Campus, which is some type of learning center that he created. And, really good guy, when you look at people and, you're not supposed to judge and stuff, but when you get to meet people and you see how they interact with their families and such, you can get a really good idea about the character of an individual. And, his accolades speak about his competence in this space. So, we're in a pretty good space right now. And, the middle of December, somewhere around the 14th and 15th, there is an event in California. I believe it's in Anaheim. We have to get all of that information to you. But, so you can actually get to meet Don. This event is kind of a prospecting event. However, we will have some incentives in place for people to qualify and go out and spend some time with Don at the factory. They're actually moving. They're building an extensive factory in Lee Summit. They're going to be pulling all of their products and companies together and putting them all under one roof. And again, I got to encourage you guys to go to exergonics.com. Watch that video. More importantly, look at his partners in business, like Neighborhood Power and I think it's the Kansas City Power and Light District. Pretty amazing stuff. Yeah, so down-to-earth guy. He looks like he's a great dad, and great family man. So it looks like he's got a grand plan with Don.
Well, and to put, what I've noticed also about him, not that I've met him like you have, but, when people get into another network marketing opportunity, and believe me, there's a great percentage of us have not had quite the success that you've had, but what I noticed about Don is that to be able to accomplish the things that he's done and looking at the future of this network marketing company of Power On Network is that, one, you have to have a person of accountability. You have to have a companies of credibility. You have to have an individual, a leader like him that is, like you said, a diplomat, somebody who has connection and has made connections, not just connections, but relationships, great relationships to be able to have done what he's doing right now and his past, accolades. So I just wanted to, say that because, I've done a little bit of my research on him, and I suggest, look at the people that he surrounds himself with. And so that's key. The second part of that question that I asked you was about the exchanges. People are always asking me, why is it just this exchange, or does it have to be on more? Does it help to be on more of the exchanges?
Yeah, absolutely. So, just need 1 second. Just 1 second. I'm just typing out some numbers. I have to tell you that, like right now, it's kind of crazy. I started getting phone calls. It's Sunday morning, right? So I usually like to go out to breakfast on Sunday morning. I have a weekend cafe up the road that does breakfasts, unfortunately, only on the weekend. I started getting phone calls, so I couldn't go out to breakfast this morning. And, people are actively activating positions, jumping over people to send monies into the company to get their positions activated so that they can get busy. And right now it's just punching in some more digits of some positions that actually are getting activated. So it's quite an exciting Sunday. But to get back to your question, so, if anybody on this call knows the crypto space, and I am by no means an expert in the crypto space. I've been around it for I want to say a few years now, coming up on 3 years now. I happen to have been very fortunate to have been surrounded by people who understood this technology. For me, when it first came around, like many people, had the opportunity to jump in on coins that were, probably weren't even in the double digits yet. But in building one of my businesses and where my money is coming in, I don't like to distract myself with other things, but I passed on that. And, so about 3 years ago, I started getting into this cryptocurrency, and I've done pretty well in it. I'd like to say that, I got really lucky. I don't think I didn't have a lot of experience, but I did really great with many cryptocurrency coins, including my stronghold, which is Bitcoin. I've always been a fan of Bitcoin, and I've been compiling. Most of the Bitcoin I've been compiling have been, started from maybe the $177 area. And, I don't sell any off. I trade them sometimes to people, but I continue to stockpile Bitcoin. I just love this space. And I've hedged my bet with Bitcoin, did well with some alternative coins, and actually met some developers in the space, and have had a pretty interesting run so far. And I'm still learning. I'm learning each and every single day. And again, I'm by no means an expert, but a cryptocurrency exchange is a business, right? They get paid by fees. People trade volume in different coins or commodities or whatever you want to call them, just like any other public market. And so for an exchange as a business or a cryptocurrency being on multiple exchanges, it needs to be profitable, right? That company, I don't know if any of you guys have ever traded on any exchanges, but I won't mention any names, but, I get emails from a couple of exchanges that I do business with. I carry my business across multiple exchanges, and my son does a bit of work for me. He's pretty good at this stuff, too. He's actually in the financial space right now. And, sometimes you'll get emails from a cryptocurrency exchange saying, hey, the following coins on this list will be removed. So you have X amount of time to, trade yours off or move them to another wallet, because we will be discontinuing these coins on the exchange. They no longer become profitable. Sometimes a coin is attacked or it's taken over by, someone that has done the wrong thing for the coin. So cryptocurrency exchange, listing any coin, including XeCoin, is up to the exchange themselves. When they think that they can get in profit with a coin, that their database of clients are interested in a coin. There are some cryptocurrency exchanges where you can request to have a coin put in. So the XeCoin, if you look back on the blockchain and you look at GitHub and you know a little bit about this stuff, or you can ask someone about this stuff, the coin was in development for a few months. And this particular hybrid coin, it's a hybrid proof of work, proof of stake coin, and it's concurrent. So it's pretty interesting. The maturation process for this coin was quite long. And during, after the maturation process, they were comfortable with that. they began looking to list it on a public exchange. And again, I don't know if I mentioned it here, but if I mentioned it on the webinar this morning, the only volume that's taking place right now is from the people who are actually mining XeCoin. They're mining it and they're selling it, so there's no great activity. But as activity increases, if any particular cryptocurrency exchange is interested in trading that coin and making money off of their fees, that's their prerogative, So you can request a coin to be there. So it's kind of funny. And, of course, the more exchanges that your coin is on, the more appealing it becomes. And, it's just the more exchanges it's trafficked on, it's in front of more members of these cryptocurrencies exchanges, whatever you want to call them, clients. So, it's great to have them on more, but we got to get the volume up first. And the volume won't come up first until the coins are actually starting to be released. There are some companies out there in this MLM space that make you hold on to those coins for a long time, or sometimes there's even some things out there that have in-house coins. They're not even real. They don't have a public source code. There's no personal wallets to possess your own coins. There's no blockchain to show what's happening. There's no mining going on, or there's some kind of simulated mining going on, no different than, a cockpit flight simulator, yeah.
Well, I have one last question for you, and then I know, like you said, you're busy, and you probably need to get going unless you want to field a couple questions. But for the person, let's say there's quite a few, I think, that really don't know much about the cryptocurrency, and they're trying to tie it all together. So, like some of the people I've been talking to are, well, I really don't know about cryptocurrency. Am I going to get paid in euros? Blah blah blah. What could you say that if you're reaching out to somebody like all of us are, and you're trying to get them to jump off the fence to come in? What could you narrow down in a Cliff Notes version about what is it about the Power On Network that even if you don't know about cryptocurrency, even if they learn just a little bit, what would drive somebody to want to come in and take the leap of faith into this particular company? I mean, I know the products, that's sitting out there, but, sometimes that's like the big stopping point for some people. It's like because there's so much information, especially about even cryptocurrency right off the beginning, and so there's that fear factor there. Cryptocurrency is something that you just have to, you have to educate yourself about. There's a lot of information on the internet to get there, but I think that in the networking space, there are a couple of companies that actually have blazed a path with this cryptocurrency model with network marketing. So now at the Power On Network, we also have the green renewable energy space. So, I mean, you've got a lot of information, but sometimes information overload can be overwhelming, and that can push somebody on the other side of the fence where you don't want them. So, the only thing you can do is just, do some trainings, get some people on some trainings and maybe specifically go at cryptocurrency versus, how to maybe recruit or, even look for customers in the green energy space. So that's a tough one, but I think personally, I'm doing the same thing you guys are doing, I'm talking to people about this business, about bringing them into the business. And sometimes it's a lot of information, but it's all about the relationship you have with people. Listen, if you're email blasting or you're not talking to people, I know there's some people that are out there that sell without talking to people. The way I build my business is with a telephone, and I guess telephone, Skype, WhatsApp, WeChat, Line, and Skype. I use the phone and texting. All of my stuff is personal. And if somebody's on the fence, you have to find out. You have to find out why they're on the fence, and you've got to throw back some information that can take them off the fence. But I can tell you this. Don't waste too much time knocking people off of the fence, because there's a lot of people ready to jump.
People have seen what's happened to cryptocurrency, even in this networking space. Cryptocurrency has a good public environment, and there's good news around it. People know what can happen to it. So, there's a speculation component. There's a massive commission component. And, so it's also a lot going on with the company that you can get a lot of information for. So, that's a tough question. Cryptocurrency is just so new. And, if you walk down the streets of, even a busy city, Chicago, New York, and you ask, 10 people, do you know what Bitcoin is? There's still people that don't know what Bitcoin is, or they've heard of it but have no idea what it is. So that's a little tough, but that also puts us into virgin territory. It's nice to be in virgin territory. We've seen some good things happen in the space. I don't think anybody's nailed it down perfectly, but having a public coin with a source code and wallets and a blockchain and an intrinsic value from kilowatt hours of green renewable energy, I think that, there's really a lot to look at here. But I would recommend don't waste too much time on people that are sitting on the fence. Some people sit on the fence their whole life. And, and instead of trying to knock them off, there are just so many more people out there. Get your information out there. I know some people that put a lot of generic information out there just to get a contact so they can actually just, their phone is just heating up in the corner, ready to just pick somebody off and say, boom, I'm going to get on the phone with this person. So there's a lot of ways to go about that, brother.
Yeah, no, the thing that I am doing myself, as well as many of the people in my downline I'm talking to, is just keeping it simple. Really finding out. A lot of people can't see a fear or can't see the opportunity because a fear is in the way. So you have to, like you said, answer those questions about why they're on the fence. So that makes perfect sense. So anyhow, Rocco, if you want, unless you have to go, I can field a couple questions.
Yeah, listen, let's field a couple of questions. I need to jump. I got people that are looking to get activated. There's the way people pay them with Bitcoin now, there's a site out there called poweronnetwork.co, and that's actually a Bitcoin processor. You go in there, you put your username in, your email address in, you select the package you want to purchase, you submit the button that tells you how and where to send the Bitcoin to, and there are people right now that are just need a little help with that. And, remember, we have a huge language barrier. Listen, the world is our oyster, right? This is a global business. And sometimes there's a language barrier, but if you can find the right person to help you with that language barrier, that's why, not trying to knock people off the fence. There's just too many people on planet Earth that, are looking to get into a good home business, make home business kind of money, take advantage of, what home business has to offer. So, I'd like to take a couple of questions just so that we can keep people comfortable. And again, I may not have the answer, but I'll get back to you on it. But if, there's any questions out there, let's take a couple of them before I have to jump.
Sure. Okay, everyone. If you do have a question, like I said, I'm only going to take one or two questions here just because Rocco does have to get going. He's extremely busy. You would hit *6, and that would put you into the queue. And so we will field a couple questions if there are any. I tell you what, Rocco, out of everything that I have been, I've been in network marketing for 25 years, and quite honestly, I've never seen something of this magnitude. It's been pretty amazing to say the least.
25 years. So I got two guys. I got 25 years. I got two guys. One was supposed to be on this phone with you, Fred, who, I'm not going to throw anybody's age out there, but I'm a young guy, and these guys are old enough to be my dads. And like one day I was on a phone call with Fred and one other guy who happens to be my guy, and Fred's working with him now. It's kind of funny, but he asked Fred, he said, hey, when did you get started in this? And Fred said, 1969, and he mentioned the name of the company. I think the name of the company was Dare to Be Great. It was really funny because Nigel knew what he was talking about, And my friend Bob said, I got you beat, 1965, Amway. I wasn't born yet. I was a baby when these guys are doing it. And I have to say, each and almost every single person, like 99.9% of the people, that I've approached and spoken to on behalf of others, you know, they can't say no. They can't refuse it. They see that it's got everything, and, you know, it has the ability to go the distance because of Don. It's got all of the components in place. You know, if you go look at the top 100 list, I don't agree with it, but if you look at Google the top 100 earners in direct sales and network marketing, I don't agree with that list, because if I believe if some stuff isn't true, it really doesn't count. But just go and look at some of the incomes that are available. And I have to tell you, you know, the people that are building this business, you know, are at close to the top of those earners. You know, they've done it before. They're ready to do it again. They're doing it again right now, you know. And it's really awesome, you know.
Yeah, follow successful people. I guess you have stunned everybody. I don't see any questions, but I do have one last one for you, and it's something that you have done in the webinar, and that is being talked about in the webinar. We were talking with some people from over in Africa yesterday, and, you know, I want to make sure that people understand this really closely. That 60-40 split, you know, of what we're getting paid and what goes into the reserve account, and the significance of that as far as the stability of the XeCoin. And then also the slide after that where it talks about the XeCoin loyalty award program and how powerful that is. I would appreciate you talking about that, and then we will bid you adieu, and Tim and Mike and I will take over from there.
Yeah, so listen, the loyalty award is a spectacular component, right? We're bringing people in, and some people are working other businesses. They can't come out and publicly build. They can jeopardize their income. Some people, it may take them a little bit longer to share the business and start building commission income. But each and every month that you allow the company to hold your coins in what's called a cold wallet, the company is staking. Because it's a proof of stake coin, those coins actually stake, and there's an annual reward on those coins. And the company actually shares them with everyone who's purchased the package. And depending upon how long, and everything is geared to keep the coins out of the market space, or eventually used to use as a currency, right? When enough merchants are accepting that currency. So yeah, it's all of these measures are in place right now, and so that loyalty award helps people. I mean, if you just look at the page. I hope everybody that's on this call has a copy of that presentation. Look at the page. Look at the loyalty award that is paid on the company's staking portion. Right now it looks like the first month is falling in somewhere close to 10%. So if you had 50,000 coins, that month you're going to get 5,000 coins awarded to you for your loyalty of not selling those coins off and actually not staking them yourself, but allowing the company to stake them. So and staking is a whole new world, and coins like Ethereum. If you're familiar with Ethereum, and Ethereum, it looks like my business partner went to the DevCon event in Shanghai just a couple of months ago, and it's looking like Ethereum's ready to take over the world with their smart contracts on their blockchain, or whatever. It's actually not called a blockchain, right? It's called the Ethereum platform. But Ethereum is a mineable coin right now, and that's going over to full proof of stake, from what I understand. So that loyalty award is very powerful. It actually, that component basically puts something in there for everyone. There's something in that compensation plan for everyone. And that loyalty award, if the coin strengthens in value, that's on top of that loyalty award. So you're getting that strengthened value even on the coins that you're being awarded. And the great thing about the company is, I mentioned earlier that some companies lock your coins up. After 60 days here, you can start selling off 10% of your stake every month. And I think that's the most reasonable crypto plan that I've ever seen inside of this network marketing space, where these plans are all coming together. A lot of them are just, like poop, flat out poop, scam poop, because, the industry can, there's a lot of companies that make it look like it's a cesspool. And but some of them are really great companies trying to do some great things, and you just look around, you'll see them out there. But I think the Power On Networks XE plan is the most reasonable plan out there. And someone bought a package, in a sense, they're out in the year if they chose to be. But, they probably wouldn't be when they see what's happening throughout the year. And again, if you share it, it just, you're doubling down because commissions start building up pretty quickly.
Well, I'd have to say, I asked you the question before about why come into the Power On network, and just from that point that you made about coming in and purchasing a power plan, that in itself, even if you're not a person that is good at recruiting and building downlines, and you could come in and look at the reward, look at the opportunity, and as this company grows and the success by just coming in and doing that. Not saying that you should stay there, but
right.
A lot of people, they're not big downline builders, but I've been telling people, hey, just get in, get yourself a spot, and
listen,
then when.
You got 25 years in this business. You got longer than me, and I'm sure there's some people on this phone. You guys all know people that are, doing this kind of stuff, and a lot of people right now. What I'm seeing many a great marketer hedge their bets with the companies that they're in right now. I think some of them are actually in fear that their company won't be around for a long time, and with this promotion that's going on, the double coins by December 31st. On January 1st, people are going to bang themselves on the hammer. Just yesterday they could have bought a package with double the amount of coins. That's a huge giveaway right now, and that's the promotion that they've been running for almost the past 30 days, and actually I think a little more than the past 30 days, but, it's going on until December 31st, and now's the time to do it. Listen, it's just, right, what do they say when opportunity meets preparation? Success, that's success. And there's a unique opportunity right now with XeCoin, whether you work the Power On network plan or not, but people that are in both spaces are, these are the kinds of people that like to take advantage of what's presented right now through the Power On network opportunity in XeCoin. And, within the next 12 months, the exotic product rollout. Which is going to be insane, It's going to be totally insane. It's a customer acquisition plan, If you look at the top company in the energy space in direct sales, it's Ambit. They're doing $1.4 billion a year. And these guys are switching their people over from one provider to another. That's not an easy task. And typically they'll promise, they're going to get them better prices, blah, 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 but they're all about the same, sometimes even more. We're going behind the meter. That company, Ambit, can only work in a maximum of 15 states. There's only 15 deregulated states in the United States. And, that leaves 35 states that are open that can't switch their electric provider over. They're not deregulated yet. And if it's going to happen, it's going to take a long time. We go in all 50 states. We go behind the meter, and we offer a 20% discount guaranteed on a green initiative. So, if you look at, you got to look at the timeline. All of those accomplishments on that timeline have been done by Don Nisango. And, they've got their products mapped out till 2020. It looks really clear right now. It looks really good. I've seen people selling products like this or something similar, and it seems like the people that are behind it are fabricated, or either they've done nothing or nobody's ever heard of them before, and they come out with these stories. But we don't have stories here. Everything that we talk about is all researchable on Google with Don. His patents are out there. His, what he's done in the past is all out there. It's the real deal. So, many people are feeling really great about this. And I think I was on the phone yesterday with your upline, and, while I was there, I was looking for the payment processor. So I went into a position to take a peek and look around, and I just noticed 13,000 people. It was a nice round number, 13000. We just hit 13,000 members like a day or two ago, and it's really, really cool. We're watching it happen. It's global, and it's exciting, and some really great points about it and great people behind it. So I hope that helps you guys. And it's after the top of the hour, so I've really got to get jumping. But I appreciate talking about this. So, if there's any other questions that come behind it, let me know. If you need me again, Fred is with you as well. Fred has met Don on, spent some time with Don on several occasions as well. So has some more of your upline. And I got to tell you, those guys are going crazy with this. They're just, You know, I know this is not a training or anything, but it wasn't a traditional call either. You know, go out there. There's low-hanging fruit right now. Everybody who's made money in this or who has struggled to make money in this new niche in the network marketing space, this cryptocurrency, that's low-hanging fruit. It's really easy. And everybody right now who's building, and, you know, like I am the number one position in the company. And I'm telling you that only because I want you to know that I can see everything that's happening right now. You know, I have the master tree. And, you know, there are legs that are just shooting out, shoot, shoot. And, you know, those legs that are shooting out, what people are doing right now, those people are mastering the art of the three-way phone call. You know? Yep. And, you know, that's really powerful. And I got to tell you that sometimes I'll have to call you to do a three-way, you know, and just ask you to talk about what you like about the Power On network. The power of the three-way has built, you know, multi-million-dollar income. So, you know, if you know these people that are in the space, I'm sure there's networkers on this call, experienced networkers, so many people that have so much more experience than me. And I'm nothing special. But, you know, everybody that I talk to in my circle, seriously, they're like the elite special forces. You know, it's like not the Army or the Navy. These are the special forces. These guys go out there. They hit the strings of people who love this network marketing space industry. And a lot of those people are falling in love with this cryptocurrency space as well. So it's out there right now, guys. Just go and get it. And I think you'll find all the help you need as far as three-way calls. I'm available. Fred's available. Ray's available. There are other people that are available, you know. So just take advantage of it. And you know, in a year from now, I think everybody will really be happy. And, you know, for those people, I got people that come in and say, hey, you know, I want to make, you know, $800,000 a month like some of the people I know. Don't look at it that way. You know, write that long-term goal down, but break it down there and look at your first, you know, maybe your first $1,000 a week, you know, or your first $5,000 a week, you know, or a $10,000 a month. Look at the small pieces because all of those small pieces are on the way to $1 million a month. You know, there's one guy at the top of your upline that, you know, his strategy was to come in, purchase 2 packages that have a 75,000 euro weekly cap. And he's working on the first one right now, and soon he'll be working on his third leg. When he maxes those binaries out, he's looking at 150,000 a week. That's 600,000 a month. And that's without even looking at the uni level, the binary, or the loyalty award. That's just the binary income alone. That one package has a 75,000 euro cap. And he came in, you know, not like a soldier, but he came in like an experienced business person, and he said, you know, I know what I'm looking to do. I need to max out these 2 binaries, and that'll put me in the vicinity of $1 million a month. And he's pretty close to that right now. And it's the real deal. It's not a tale. You know, they're out there doing it. And we have this opportunity presenting itself now. And it's looking really good. So just do it, you know. It's like Nike. Just do it. Pick up the phone. You know, and if you do the internet marketing, get these people on the phone if you can. Pull in a three-way, you know. So it really helps.
Well, Rocco, it's been a pleasure having you on, but I'm going to have to kick you off this call. You're just talking way too much.
Yeah, all right. So I'm going to jump everybody.
Hey, no, seriously, I can't thank you enough. I appreciate it. Love to have you back out again, of course. And I know everybody here it was just great information. So, and everybody likes to hear from the leader. So,
okay, everybody have a happy Sunday, man. Take care.
All right, thanks, Rocco. Hey guys, we are going to continue this call. I got Michael, I got Tim. Are you guys still on the line? I'm presuming.
Yeah, Tim here. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you great, Tim. Michael,
are you there?
Yeah. Sounds good.
All right.
All right, everyone. We are going to continue this, not much further, because I know when people listen to whether it's a webinar, conference call, or, watch a video, we got to have some information that people want to stay and listen because, these things get really elongated. So, but typically you will be hearing from these other two gentlemen, Tim Judd, Michael Smallwood, who are going to be the co-hosts when we do this conference call. I think I'm looking maybe to switch the call from Sunday, maybe even to Saturday, so people, we're going to look over that. But Tim, if you want, go ahead and give the people just a brief background, and then I know you probably have some things you want to say about what you heard on the conference call, and then also, people, if you still have questions, hit *6 and put yourself in the queue, and we can answer some questions for you. And then after Tim, Michael, please tell people a little bit about yourself, and then we can go in and talk about some other things that I didn't ask Rocco because I wanted him to talk about some of the bigger picture stuff that I know a lot of people were wanting. So go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, I just want to say a couple of quick things. I got on the tail end of the call here a minute. I really want to point out something that Rocco said, and you referred to as well, is stability. We've all built large organizations or things in the past, and we talked about a little bit about starting over. But this is so unique. In fact, that's one of the reasons I was late to attending this call here, and I appreciate the invite. My phone's been ringing off the hook. I've had to push half a dozen calls to voicemail during the last 10 minutes here. And what I'm finding is that those that typically, maybe they've got limited experience, maybe network marketing, or really have no interest in network marketing, are drawn to this because we have something that nothing else has out there. Is the energy, the company backing it, Exergonics. And you talked a little bit about the biography of some of those, behind Exergonics, and it's incredibly accomplished, and not only in energy, but and also forward-thinking innovations. And if we look at what he's done in the educational space and being awarded, kind of a tip of the hat by Barack Obama and that, and so it's not just in one market or one arena, and we look at this like kind of a segment, and I like to say it's kind of like almost a trifecta, really, a perfect storm, really. It's you have those that are incredibly passionate about energy conservation and renewable energies, and really doing their part to save our resources for future generations. And those are intrinsically inclined to something that's progressive and innovative. This company is really setting records in that arena. And then you also have the cryptocurrency space, which is really in infancy. And let's face it, I think if any of us could roll back the clock back to the time when Bitcoin was originally available, and capitalize on the growth there, I think we all would. For example, if it was 10 or 20 cents, now it'd be worth like $7 million or something. You know what I mean? If you put $1,000 back then, But what I'm finding is, and I kind of joked around about it, can anybody say no to this? And the closing, the closing ratio on this thing, when people actually take the time to look at the components of this stuff, you're not going to be able to sleep for 3 days. I'm not one to give into hype and exaggeration and this kind of thing. I really did a lot of research on this, and those in the leadership, Rocco, and you mentioned a couple others in that have built other programs and what they've involved with tonight, really in the company itself and their space, what they've done as an investment perspective, and when you look at it, okay, now they're given an opportunity where they recognize the advantage of having an affiliate base or allowing it through network marketing to introduce their future innovations to the marketplace, but they don't need it. And I see a lot of, you see all too often, you'll see companies that they start up, and it's really not even about the product. It's I'm not going to target any single company, but maybe it's a healthcare product or something where maybe they've got a different, unique spin on it, and it's a different kind of pillar potion or whatever. Maybe it's but how neat is that? How unique is that? And how how disruptive is that in the industry when there's 1,000 out there doing it? Well, what we have together, or what we have here, there's nobody out in the space doing it. There's nobody out there, and nothing out there that's come close to have a very successful enterprise, a corporation backing a cryptocurrency to take advantage of both those trends or disruptive technologies. And we talk about the crypto space in itself. It's an industry unto itself. And then you add the capacity to market. But one of the things that I'm finding is those that have limited or no experience at all in marketing, a lot of people are getting involved with this just for the investment aspect of it. So that's exciting as well.
Well, let's not call it an investment because it's not an investment, just for clarity purposes. But I know what you mean.
Right.
So,
right.
No, I mean, like he pointed out towards the end, Rocco pointed out towards the end. I mean, if you look at just coming in and purchasing a power plan and holding on to those coins, or and not selling, I mean, that piece right there. And then there's another piece that you and I were discussing even yesterday about people coming in for free and setting up a position. And there's ways that you can do this. You can actually add a couple other positions, get yourself set up to where you can actually earn money from people in your downline, in your group sales, once you have set up and got your first one on your left and your first one on your right. And I'm not going to get into that detail because we're going to end the call here soon. But I do want to get Michael on. Michael Smallwood, many of you know him. He's been one of the, just like Tim, one of the people in my foundation that I totally trust. And so, Michael, what did you take from the call? Tell people a little bit about yourself. Appreciate it. And then I'll go into some of the things we're going to be having on the next conference call.
Sure. Thanks, Rodney. I really appreciate it, and I was honored that you actually, we've always kind of kept in touch, and I was honored that you thought of me about this opportunity. For me, I've been in this realm, I grew up an Amway baby, basically. So, and I kind of started doing this type of stuff in my, probably about 20s. I think just like you, basically, Rodney. I think we kind of started around the same timeline. But what kind of amazed me about it is this call was, there's so much to this. I was like, oh, wow, where to start. But I just have basically kept it simple. I've followed your lead also, just keeping it simple. And basically all I've been doing is one-on-ones basically with people. I haven't even, mass marketed any advertisements at all. And just been keeping it simple because I have a tendency to get too technical, analyze everything, and get people, I just didn't want to get too much information that people are like, what, you just totally lost me. So I've been trying to just keep it simple, and then also just saying, hey, trust me. You've known me a while. Trust me. Just give me this, little bits of information, and let's get your free position and go. And we'll work out all the other details later. And the other thing I liked about it, while I also jumped in when you showed it to me, is just the aspect of just holding on to those, just getting the coins and holding on to them, besides the network marketing part of it, and also being backed by the energy that all the other aspects of what the energy side of this is going to do for us. So that's basically it. I mean, I just think people, don't be afraid. I mean, we're here to help you. Just don't be afraid of this, like you were saying too. Just keep it simple, and you'll be surprised how easy things will kind of line up. Yeah.
Well, now, I mean, that's great, and just a reiteration before we end the call here, but I can't stress enough how important it is to get people like Michael on a call, get myself on a call. You guys have Ray available. If you don't know Ray, believe me, I can put you in touch with him. You can get Tim, of course, who's an expert at this. I mean, we don't have all the answers because, again, there's so much information. But what we can bring to the table is that if you're not the type of person that feels comfortable and, because there's a lot of information, or maybe you're just not a salesperson or have that type of personality, don't worry about it. Again, it's just keeping it simple. You need to address people's fears. You need to find out, what it is, because if you show them the video, they like the video, they're always going to have a fear that's there. You need to find out what is it that you like, and then what's holding you back. And more importantly, what's been working for us is that you got to let people know, like, listen, there's nothing to lose here. Go take some time, lock in your position, okay? First and foremost, you need 4 pertinent pieces of information, okay? You need a date of birth, telephone number, a username, and what's the fourth one I'm missing? An email address. And that's it. And you can get people signed up and say, listen, just lock in a position, okay? This is a credible company. You saw that by the by the webinar. So take some time with this, and then when you're ready, let's talk. Let's get on the phone, or let me get you on the phone, with somebody who knows a little bit of something. And better yet, now that you have the first conference call, especially with Rocco and all the things that he has talked about, I mean, that in itself, just having people listen to this, even if they listen to the first 15 or 30 minutes of this conference call, they're going to get something powerful out of it. And understand that everybody has something that really entices them about this. There's a ton of people out there that just love cryptocurrency, and they want to get in, especially if they know that it's asset-backed. And so you just got to find those pieces. So with that being said, again, guys, we could talk forever. There's just so much to talk about. You want to make certain that all of your people that you are signing up are being brought into the Facebook group page of the Power On Network. You also need to bring them into the conversation of Facebook Messenger for our group, because that's how they're going to be they're going to get the information that they need. They're going to get questions answered. They're going to be supported, okay, because everything is already set up to where you really don't have to do a whole lot, and when people come in, they want to be taken care of. They want their questions answered just like you do. So put yourself in your own shoes, and that's different, but put yourself in your own shoes and ask yourself, what would I want, okay? So it's like the golden rule, do unto others as you would want them to do unto you. So take that approach and allow the system that we have in place to work and getting us on the phone. With that being said, we are going to have Max, and some of you may know Max or not. We'll talk about that later. But Max is the gentleman who's been doing some of the webinars and that you've had your people out to. But Max is awesome with the comp plan. He is going to go through that. I'm going to bring him on here, and just because I really want people to understand how easy it is to get somebody in and how they can literally come in for free and start making money. And then I want you to truly understand, because there's nothing complicated about this binary comp plan in any way, shape, or form, okay? And so as soon as you feel comfortable, with all the different pieces of this, okay, and you got to simplify it, but once you understand this comp plan, then it gives you confidence, when you go out there and you do approach somebody and they have a question. So we're going to talk about that extensively to make certain that you guys fully understand that. We're going to try to get Fred back on, and for next week as well. But with that being said, I can't thank everybody enough. I think this has been an amazing first conference call for the Power On Network. Tim, Michael, you got any last words before we exit out of here?
No, I mean, you guys really covered all the bases. I think, well done there.
Yeah, and I just want to thank everybody for getting on the call, spending the time, since I know it's Sunday afternoon for most and Sunday morning on the West Coast here where I'm at. And just, it was a great call, and I thank you, Rodney. You did a great job, and Rocco, it was awesome to get some clarifications on a few things. So, and I'm sure we're going to have a lot of learning on the way.
Yeah, there's definitely more information to come, and the conference calls will be updating you any brand new, breaking news about what's going on. And believe me, there's so many things that Rocco didn't even get into. Believe me, I've had conversations with him and several other people, and so they just have a wealth of information. And so anyhow, guys, as of right now, we will definitely keep doing the conference calls on Sunday. If there's going to be any adjustment, we will make that known in the Facebook group, of course, and in Messenger. And so make sure you get your people out on this conference call because, again, it's essential information. They want to hear this. It builds credibility for you and your team. And so keep getting them out. And I thank you enough. Can't thank you enough. And so we will end the call. Thanks so much.
Power on, gentlemen.
Thank you.